Hello, and welcome to Decoding Dance, the video series where I give you a different perspective on commonly used verbal cues that we often use in dancing. In this video, I'm going to be going over the idea of flicking your foot. This will often happen in swing, jive, and occasionally foxtrot and tango. So when we flick our foot, oftentimes it's described as flicking something off of the shoe. We're going to start by investigating the idea of the flick and what that means, and then the muscular action and how to create it, and what we're going to do in the body to hopefully make this make a little bit more sense. So a flick action, if you imagine you're flicking something, you're going to flick something off of your clothing. What do? You take your finger and thumb, you create tension, and it's a quick and it's a direct action. So you're making it go into a direction and you're getting rid of something, right? So it's flicking something off. It has a little bit of energy, but has speed to it, and it stops. Most of the time when we're referring to a flicking action, we're actually using the idea of a flick and meaning it to be more of a rebound. So we're rebounding out of that flicking action. So we do something and actually becomes more of a rebounding action. So it's not exactly entirely accurate to call it just a flick. A flick would stop in space. So I'd do a flick with my leg and that would be it. Flick the leg forward and flick the leg forward. So it's a quick direct action that has an ending point. So when we're flicking something in dancing, we're often referring to a direct action. Now, a flick often doesn't have a direct action, it's flicking away from the body. So when I'm flicking with dancing, I'm often going direct. It's more of a dabbing action, so I'm dabbing into the space. That's probably a better way of explaining to it from a dynamic point of view. So I'm dabbing, it goes directly to a space, but it's also got a little bit of a rebound to it. So I'm dabbing in and I'm pulling back, dab, pull back. So it has a quick stabbing action to it. Now, in order to do this, let's examine how do we effectively do that within the body. This tends to be one of the harder things to get right, so to speak, as we're starting to explore how to do any kind of kicking action. Well, first of all, I have to achieve balance on one foot. So if I can't balance on one foot, we have to investigate that further. That's a whole different video series, but I'm going to balance on one foot. I'm going to pick up the knee of the other, and I'm going to extend and straighten the foot in front of my body with an arch of the foot, creating a point. Then I'm going to bring the knee back up. So it's about extending the knee down, the knee back up, knee down and knee back up. It creates a bouncing action. So that creates a flick with the foot. It's not just thinking about the foot out, it's thinking of a knee down and knee back up, which allows the lower leg to extend and create really a very precise dabbing action. Or it could then at that point, if I'm doing it fast enough, become a flick because it's not quite directed. So how we achieve that is we create a springing action within the body. So the spring action with the body is being aware that there is a stretch response in the body. And if I can get the timing right of the activation, what that will do is it will create a response. So I spring back. One of the ways we can play with this is we can think about how the stretch response happens when we do a little sitting action. So if I sit down, I can sit down into a seated position, and I can come back up. So we go into a squat. So that means the hips roll backward, open up, and I lower into the femurs, and then I come back out. So I'm going to lower down and come back up. Sideways, lower down, and come back up. When I'm doing it like this, I'm using pure muscular strength to lower down and muscular strength to come back up. So in order to get the spring response in the muscles that we're looking for and in the connective tissue, it's about speed and timing. So the quicker I can do that, the more of a snap I get. So if I lower down, I have my hips hit the back half, and I want to imagine that I'm sitting down on a Swiss ball. I can sit down onto that and bounce back up. Sit down, bounce back up. So I allow it to bounce me back up. And what happens now is I'm using that stretch response to create the quick rebound action to come back to standing. Because if I do it slower, I'm using more muscles, again, more muscles. And if I go a little bit quicker, I create that stretch response. I go down and bounce it back up. I hit the bottom, down, bounce it back up. So I feel that bottom hitting that Swiss ball and imagine that bouncing you back up. So it's happening more within the sit bones area of the body. Now, when we're doing it from the leg, what I'm doing is I'm straightening the leg. I'm using the straightening to pull it back up, simply because I'm not going out and back. That's a lot more muscular. That becomes more of what looks like a kick it into a particular direction. But I'm trying to create more of a indirect flicking action with my foot. If it goes straight down, that's a little bit more dab, back up, dab, back up. And if I flick it, I have a little bit more speed or rebound action to it. So I want to create more of the muscular stretch response, going knee up. And as I straighten my knee, I'm going to let the leg come out in front of me and then bring it back up. So this is the action I'm using. Now, in order to create the speed of it, I let it go and come back up. I let it go and come back up. So the speed of it is what's important to this. I understand first slowly through the muscles what I'm doing. Then I have to do a faster action. So it's more about connective tissue and the muscles reacting to the action I'm doing versus me pushing and trying to get this to happen. Have fun practicing.